Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be ranking every single Harry Potter book from worst to best. Now, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. My entire left arm here is covered in Harry Potter tattoos. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that in detail and hear the stories behind it. Now, I think every book is fantastic. Even the worst one is by no means bad. It's going to be tough to do, but here we go. Let's get into it. Number 7. Coming in 7th place, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Now again, by no means a bad book. I think this is a fantastic book, but out of the 7, I feel it's the weakest, and I think that's mainly just due to the plot. Now, it kicks off really well. Harry reunites with his friends pretty quickly. He gets to the Quidditch World Cup final. Everything there is really exciting. You get the Death Eaters, the Dark Mark in the sky, lots of chaos straight off the bat. I just feel the entire premise of the Triwizard Cup is a bit silly. The whole idea that all Harry needs to do is touch a portkey to get to Voldemort. That could be done in a billion different ways. I really did enjoy Barty Crouch Jr. as Mad-Eye Moody, using the Polyjuice Potion in both book and movie. I think that's a fantastic, well-played character. Just the whole idea of the Triwizard Cup, again, I think it's a bit silly. Why are we trying to find the best witch or wizard by only doing 3 things over a whole school year? I mean, that could be done in a couple weeks, tops. If you're going to take a whole school year, why not do like 10, 15, 20 different things? And why not make these things exciting for the viewers as well, like in the audience? Really, the only good one was the first one, trying to capture the egg from the dragon. Then you've got people just staring at a lake, not knowing what's going on, and then staring at a maze, also not knowing what's going on. Yeah, a bit strange. I did really like Voldemort's return, even though the logic about getting there is a little bit silly. Once he is resurrected and he calls his Death Eaters and he has a big conversation with them, that's great stuff. Probably the highlight of the book for me. Yeah, let me know what you think. Where does this rank? Coming in at number 6, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. The book that kick-started it all and changed the world forever. Now, this book is fantastic, and a lot of you probably didn't expect it to come in so low. I think the reason why it comes in this low for me is, number 1, it's very short, by far the shortest one in the series, and number 2, it just gets a little stale on rereads, I think. A lot of it is just the introduction to the characters, Harry finding out he's a wizard and just being basically a normal boy before that. And then when you finally get to the action, I mean, it's exciting. Being introduced to the wizarding world obviously is fantastic. And yeah, hearing all these new things, all these new characters, this whole new universe is really cool. But the story itself is probably the most childish. I mean, Harry, Ron, Hermione pretty much just overcome everything that they need to with ease and become really good friends, and it's kind of a more basic storyline, I suppose. And again, by no means bad, but yeah, for me, 6th place. Coming in at 5th position, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I know a lot of people have this as their number 1 in terms of book and movie. It's very popular. It is great. For me, the reason it's down this low is time travel. Okay, I think once you introduce time travel into a universe, into a story, you're just opening up the possibility of plot holes everywhere. Okay, now J.K. Rowling, she tried to undo this by making all the time turners break or disappear or something. I think in Order of the Phoenix, it's just casually mentioned by Hermione from memory. But it just kind of ruins things. Like, he could use a time turner to undo anything, and they're only using it so Hermione can study. And also, why is Hermione always like rushed and tired and behind on time? Shouldn't it be the opposite? You have control of time. You should never be late or rushed again. Anyway, apart from that, I mean, it's a really enjoyable book. Sirius Black as a character is thrilling. I mean, he's terrifying at first, and then you have this awesome plot twist that he's actually a good guy, an innocent guy. Harry's godfather, a friend of Harry's parents. We have our best defense against the dark arts teacher here as well, with Remus Lupin. We have the introduction of the Dementors and the Patronus, and a bit more backstory on the Marauders. All of that's fantastic. I really do enjoy this book, but just the time travel aspect for me, I think, seems to affect me more than other people. They don't seem to mind. They have it right at the top. It's number 5 for me. Coming in fourth position, the final book, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Now, this book was massive when it was released, okay? The anticipation was unlike anything I think the world had seen at the time. People lining up, dressed up outside of bookstores at all hours of the night. People going through this thing super quickly, reading it in a day or two or whatever they did. People could not put it down. It was all the craze. And in all honesty, it does a fantastic job at wrapping up the series. It's exciting. There's lots of action, lots of conclusions being made. The Battle of Hogwarts is fantastic. We have some sad deaths, say goodbye to some loved characters. And we get, I think, a really good conclusion to the Harry Potter series. I think J.K. did a really good job at wrapping it up. It was going to be a tough task, 7 books, lots of storylines, lots of hype, lots of expectations, and this book lived up to it. It's really good. It's number 4. Coming in at number 3, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Probably a bit of a surprise. I know a lot of Harry Potter fans rank this one quite lowly, and a lot of Harry Potter fans seem to say that it's number 3, Prisoner of Azkaban, where the story becomes more mature and a little more dark. And while I get that to an extent, I feel this book is super underrated in that regard. When you think about the plot of this story, it's super dark, okay? Maybe the only thing that stops it from being really dark is the fact nobody actually dies. There's a bit of plot convenience in the fact everyone only gets petrified and everyone's okay in the end. So maybe there's some more childish aspects in that regard. But the overall story of the Chamber of Secrets, the heir of Slytherin, the whole idea of purebloods versus mudbloods, we get the introduction of the Horcrux in Tom Riddle's diary. The whole thing is quite terrifying, and it works really well as a mystery. I think J.K. did a super job following up the first book with this. It's underrated in my opinion. I love it. It's number 3. Coming in at second position, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Now, I absolutely love this book. By far the biggest book of the series. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix takes us into kind of a more fresh direction, a new approach, different kind of storyline, which I think was really needed after the 4th book. We get more of an idea of the wizarding world at large. We have a large focus on the Ministry, the Minister of Magic, basically the politics of the wizarding universe, which is really interesting. We get Dolores Umbridge, best villain of the series. I know most fans hate her more than they hate Voldemort, and she was just written fantastic. I mean, the fact that you can hate a character this much just by reading is unreal. We get a different Harry in this book. He's sad, angry, angsty. And I know some fans don't like that about this book, but I think when you think about why it's happening, in the storyline, his connection with Voldemort, you get the prophecy, you get the real backstory, the whole reason this story exists, the whole reason Voldemort wants to go after Harry, and why Voldemort does the things that he does, essentially, kind of comes to light in this book. It's more adult, mature, more political. I think it's fantastic. Number 2. Okay, and taking out first position, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I absolutely love this book. Okay, and I think one of the reasons I like it so much is it's the most Dumbledore-heavy book. And in my opinion, Dumbledore is the best written character in the series. He's my favorite character. And getting so much of him interacting with Harry, especially after book number 5, where Dumbledore is deliberately evasive of Harry, is really nice. We get the whole backstory into Tom Riddle / Voldemort. It's really interesting. hearing about his upbringing and his family and learning more about his intentions in this world. We learn more about the Horcruxes, which obviously builds up nicely into the final book and the climax of the whole story. We get a bit of a different Harry. He's not as upset as he was in Order of the Phoenix. He's more determined. He wants to achieve things. We get Slughorn, really interesting character. We get Snape, finally, his defense against the dark arts teacher. And we get Snape killing Dumbledore, one of the biggest moments in the series. Obviously very upsetting, losing Dumbledore, and the way it's given to us, we hate Snape more than we've ever hated him before, which also leads into the great moment in the final book, The Prince's Tale, finding out more about Snape, and that's all kind of built up in this book. I think just the whole story is fantastic. I love it so much. It's my number one. Okay, guys, there you have it. That is my ranking of the Harry Potter series from worst to best. Let me know down in the comments, how do you rank all 7 books? Thanks for joining in. See you next time.